Hey my Novabites, Temporal Nova and Rats here, and welcome to 14 Days with You, a yandere-style game where you return to your hometown and something isn't quite right. Shout out to Jupiter220 for helping me find this game. Enable streamer mode. Yes, please disable it. What would you like your name to be called? I'll leave these as is for consistency. Angel, huh? I see. I can't wait to finally meet you, Angel. And in other news, the remains of yet another body have been pulled out of Lake Blue Moss, making it a total of 4 unidentifiable victims this past year. Authorities believe that... Ugh. Stifling a groan with the rim of my coffee cup, I fish around for the remote lodged between the cushions and turn off the TV. I wasn't about to let some morbid headline damper the start of my cheerful morning, especially considering how today was going to be my first day at work after finally getting that hard-earned promotion. I mean, sure, stacking and sorting through books at a library might not have been my dream job, or even my first choice of places to work after moving back. But the pay was nice, my coworkers were friendly, and the building was located within the perfect walking distance from my apartment. There was even this adorable little bakery along the way that served the best shortcakes and croissants known to mankind, and the manager there always loved to hand out small freebies whenever I stopped by. It still beats living in the city though. Honestly, I wasn't even sure why I left my hometown in the first place. The fast-paced hustle and bustle lifestyle of the city just wasn't what I was longing for whenever I stared out my window on sleepless nights. And the people there were always rude and indignant. It was nothing like Corlin Bay, where everyone felt like a close-knit family, and the air smelled like the sea rather than pollution. And sure, the local crime rate might have been getting out of hand as of late, and there might be fewer things for me to do here. But my new job keeps me busy, and I prefer spending time alone at the beach over visiting shady bars with people I barely considered friends. In fact, setting my mug onto the table, I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. A notification from Moth, my online friend, pops up, so I tap on the screen to read their message. What greets me is an adorable sticker of some anime character giving a thumbs up, as well as a short message that says, "Good luck today," underneath. Moth had always been adamant about showing their endless support for me, even after 5 years of friendship, cursed memes, and late-night video calls. And even though I would never admit it out loud, I was truly grateful to have someone like them in my life. Pulling up the keyboard, I begin to type a response to their message. I'll save real quick. We'll send a meme with 0 content. I feel like screwing around. Without missing a beat, I open up the image gallery with practiced fingers and send back a blurry picture of a worm in a bag of crisps with the word "sexy" written in glitter font. Not even 5 seconds pass before Moth quips back with a response of their own, this time sending their own cryptic meme of a frog sitting on a slice of bread. Is that butter? Before I can ask, a gray chat bubble pops up once more, indicating that Moth was still typing another message. By the way, Did you see the latest episode? I heard Haruko got an outfit change. Spoil it for me, did he really change his hairstyle as well? Or was that really just his sorcerer outfit? Attack on Giants, or AOG, as Moth liked to call it, is a popular anime series we recently became obsessed with, and Haruko is one of the main characters from the show. He's a sorcerer known for his shy and airheaded demeanor, and as of late, his hairstyle had become a trending topic within the community. Now that I thought about it, what hairstyle did Haruko have in the latest episode? His hairstyle, I would say, would have... Save. I would say mid-length. Oh, so it is relatively the same length then. Whew. I must have been looking at fake news or something. By the way, I don't mean to change the subject, but... Didn't you say last night you were going to head to work at 8 a.m.? Cause it's almost 9:30 wherever you are right now, right? Or am I just dumb and got the time zones mixed up again, lol? Looking at the time displayed on my phone, I immediately let out a string of curses and leaped to my feet. Crap! Grabbing the coat that I had carelessly strewn across the back of the sofa earlier, I quickly shrug it on before making a beeline toward the front door. Before I leave, however, I spare myself one final glance in the poorly hung mirror in the hallway. Hopefully this outfit I chose was appropriate for my job. I feel like wearing something cutesy. You can't go wrong with a bit of pastel, bows, and frills. Giving myself a small spin in the mirror, I admire how soft the fabric and patterns flow around me. But enough of that. I can check myself out another time. Hastily, I smooth out the wrinkles and pick off any stray pieces of lint from my sleeves before I finally head out to the front door, and almost catch my coat on the door handle in the process. With a grumble, I tug at the fabric of my coat before slamming the door shut with a little bit too much force than necessary. Even trying to insert my key came with a bit of struggle, and I had to fight the urge to yell in frustration as I attempted to lock my door. Seriously, when will that lazy bum of a landlord do something about this? I swear I complained about this at least 4 times this month. Oh, hey there, Angel. Looking good. My neighbor, Violet, practically beams at me while she fishes through her pockets for her own apartment key. Resting her hips was yet another potted plant, and I found myself wondering where she was going to put it this time. I was almost entirely convinced that her whole apartment had just been turned into a greenhouse at this point, considering how her balcony was practically filled to the brim with different kinds of plants, greenery, and other various kinds of flora. But I wasn't about to complain or anything. The fragrance that waved in with the wind always smelled floral and earthy, and it did well to mask the smell of smoke and burnt food whenever I tried to cook. Hey, your outfit is just my style. You look so cute. You'll have to let me peek inside your closet someday. I've been looking for some new inspiration lately. Especially with winter right now around the corner. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Oh. But back to you. Symbol. What does this do? Her voice pulls me away from my thoughts, and I notice how the growing smile on her face doesn't seem to falter. This is just a menu. Wow, Violet sure was extra chirpy this morning. I wonder if she'd let me borrow some of that energy. In response, I shoot my neighbor a grin of my own, and it was apparently enough to brighten her mood even more than it already was. We're gonna be nice to her. It's nice to see you again, Violet. Yeah, it's nice to see you too. I usually still be at the flower shop at this time, so it's nice to finally be able to catch up with you like this. Especially when our schedules align. Speaking of, you should stop by my place next time you're free. I'd love to introduce you to this little guy's family. Oh, I almost forgot. I've been meaning to ask you this, but when are you going to tell me that you were seeing someone? Huh? A knowing look pulls at her features as Violet continues to fiddle with the lock on her door. What are you talking about? Come on, don't act like you didn't have a guy over last night. I saw him leaving when I took Kathy out for a walk. I'd be more worried about my neighbor taking her plants, named plants, out, out on a walk at night. But the thoughts of someone leaving my apartment seem to set off way more alarm bells. I give Violet a concerned look, and she picks up on it almost immediately. You don't remember? Don't tell me you were drunk or something. With a huff, she gives up trying to unlock her door. It seems as though we both shared the same problem with our apartment locks, and places her potted plants on the ground before slowly making her way toward me. Tall guy? Wearing a dark slasher hoodie? Really into alternative fashion with the crazy amount of belts and loops wrapped around his leg? Ring any bells? No. Last night I was just catching up on some TV shows and talking with my friend. No one came here. Even if they did, I would have heard them. My place isn't really that big anyway. Really? But I was so sure it was at your door. A hand rests on her cheek in a thinking manner before she pouts up at me, seemingly giving in, for now. Well, alright then. Maybe it was somebody else's apartment. I mean, it's always so dark in these hallways at night. Honestly, what is our landlord doing? Would you mind if I check in with security downstairs later? It'd give me some peace of mind. Yeah, that's fine. Alright then. Thank you, Angel. Well, I got some plants to water and some MMOs to raid in, so... Violet lets out one last hub before she picks up her plant. What did she name this one again? And it goes back to unlocking her door. Good talk, I guess, even if it was kind of awkward. Yeah, sure. See you later, Vi. Slipping past my neighbor and into the cramped hallway, I quickly make for the stairs. When will they fix that broken elevator and break into the slightest jog? Thankfully, the weather was rather cool today, and the shoes I chose weren't going to leave me with blisters by the time I reached the library. The smell of old paper, coffee, and soft incense floods my senses as I step through the library's glass doors. The melodic chimes alert the woman at the reception desk of my arrival, and I watch as she tucks a strand of stray blonde hair behind her ear as she turns around to greet me. Good morning, Eleanor. Oh. She looks surprised for some reason, before her expression morphs into a soft smile, and she beckons me closer with a nod of her head. Eleanor is one of my coworkers here at Portland Bay Library. and one of the very few people here who actually gets the work done. And although she's notorious for being rather scatterbrained, she makes up for it with her caring and doting attitude towards everyone. But her nurturing personality can get rather overbearing at times, and I often find myself having to step away to get some breathing room. Nevertheless, she's charming to work with, and I appreciate her always looking out for me. After all, who knows what my sleeping schedule would have looked like without her help. Angel, just on time. I printed your... Wait, where did I... Her expression turns into a slight panic as she spins on her heels, and I silently watch her amusement as she shuffles through the various books and stacks of papers lining her desk. Where did I leave it? Ah, here it is. Spinning around once more, Eleanor comes back and hands me a sheet of paper with the word schedule printed in big bold letters. I take it from her grasp and give the sheet a once-over. Well, it looks like I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks, but I guess Eleanor doesn't seem to share the same disdain as me, judging from the playful look plastered on her face. So, how does it feel no longer be the one in charge of stacking books all day long? Although, you still have to work the front desk from time to time though, unfortunately. I offer a weak smile at her words before rounding the corner and placing my bag under the desk. As I begin to pull out some of my belongings, the front door chimes again, letting everyone know that another patron has arrived. Figuring Eleanor has it all covered, I leave the customer to her as I go back preparing everything for the day. But as I turn around to check on her, I noticed that she had already finished greeting the customer and was on her way back to her own desk across from mine. As if sensing my gaze, she spins around in her office chair and flashes me a teasing grin. Looks like he's back again. Eleanor gives a soft chuckle and she inclines her head in the direction of the person she was talking about. You know, that new guy. I don't know when he started showing up here in the Bay, but he always comes in and rents out the books you recommend on the display window. And if I didn't know any better, I say he has a little crush on you. Especially with that outfit you got on, it makes you look rather gorgeous, so I can't really fault him for staring. Because he was staring. A lot. Snorting, I push Eleanor's office chair so she is facing the other way and focus my attention back to the papers in front of me. I just felt like choosing the cute outfit. I don't care if anyone stares. What is with everyone today? Always smiling, gossiping about other people, and meddling in business that wasn't their own? It was bad enough that I had to deal with a potential intruder, but I doubt my deadbeat landlord was going to do anything about it. I might need to buy a stronger lock on my way home from work. Maybe even some kind of alarm system. But would the stores be still open by then? Everything is closed by the working day. All of a sudden, I get pulled backwards as Eleanor playfully wheels my chair around and leans over my shoulder to softly speak into my ear. Would you look at that? Lover boy in aisle 8 needs some help, it seems. She nods in the direction of the red light flashing above the bookshelves, signaling to the staff that someone in that row needs assistance. With a sigh, I reluctantly stand up and make my way over. I already knew for a fact that Eleanor wasn't going to help them herself, so I belligerently began to make my way towards aisle 8 alone. I knew better than to glance back at her, though, knowing fully well that my teasing coworker would be sporting the biggest grin on her face at my misfortune. Ducking around the corner and into the aisle, I was immediately met with a broad backside that was covered by what had to be the comfiest looking cardigan I ever seen. The person whom it belonged to, however, hadn't seemed to notice me yet, so I awkwardly cleared my throat and absent-mindedly shifted my weight from one foot to the other. Ahem. Uh, He seems to jump at the sudden noise before sheepishly turning around to face me. Immediately, I was taken aback by his soft demeanor, doe-eyed, doe-look eyes, and imposing height. So this was the guy who always rented out my recommended books on the display window, huh? He definitely fits the aesthetic of a cozy literature lover needing a good book. He looks quite handsome, actually. His pink hair also reminded me of Haruko, an anime character I had recently been obsessing with Moth during our late-night video calls. In fact, even the overall cut and style appeared vaguely similar to his. But then again, this hairstyle could have been trending right now or something, and I just so happened to be the last to know about it. But now that I really had a good look at him, which proved difficult considering his towering height, this stranger also seemed to bear a picture-perfect resemblance to the male lead in this webcomic I was reading. It was called Always With You, and it involved the main character meeting the love of their life at a... As if noticing my spaced-out look, the stranger absent-mindedly scratches at his jaw while he waits for me to snap back out of my thoughts. In fact, I've been so distracted that I didn't even realize that he'd been muttering quietly to himself. I wasn't expecting you to show up so soon. Sorry. I hope I'm not bothering you. I was just looking for, His voice pulls me back to the present, and I hastily try to make sense of what was spilling his cherry-tinted lip. Watching him struggle with his words would have made anyone feel bad, so I offer him a reassuring smile in return, and an encouraging nod of my head. At that, he takes a steady inhale of air before trying again. I need some help. I'm looking for a specific book, you see, but... And he's playing with the ends of his sleeves. I felt the sudden urge to reach out and stop him. Did I find the action annoying? Endearing? Relatable? Who knows? But instead, I held back and waited for him to find the words to speak. But wow, even his mannerisms were eerily similar to Haruko's. The endearing awkwardness and sleeve tugging gave me a sense of deja vu, and it honestly felt like he walked straight out of an anime and into this very library. Man, Moth is going to freak when I tell them about this later. The stranger in front of me takes in another shaky inhale before he tries to speak once more, this time with a lot more confidence in his tone and fire in his eye. Do you have any books on native flora? The best I've found are on generic wildlife, but nothing about Cortland Bay's plants. Or maybe I'm just in the wrong aisle. He was looking for a book about native flora? Perhaps I should introduce him to Violet. Chuckling to myself at the thought, I stepped closer to the tall man and began scanning the contents of the shelf beside him. He almost seems to flinch at the sudden closeness between us, but showed no sign of moving away. In fact, he seemed to almost lean closer and incline his head toward mine. And I had not been too preoccupied with finding that book, I would have noticed how his breath hitches in his throat as my scent floods his senses. No, you're definitely in the right aisle. These kind of books are just more hidden, I guess. I step past him this time and make my way over to the lower part of the shelves. Absent-mindedly, I run a finger against the spines of each book until I come into contact with one book in particular. Then, bending over slightly, I pull the book from the shelf and give the cover a once-over before offering it to the man behind me. Is this what you're looking for? Too preoccupied with the misspelled book on the bookshelf, who brings cookbooks to the nature aisle, I barely notice how his blue eyes trail across my form before landing on the book held out in my outstretched hand. Was it just me, or did he have a certain glint in his eyes? Was this book really that interesting? Or perhaps this tall stranger was just really into nature? Well, not that it mattered, because he was already taking a tentative step forward and revealing more of his hands from the depths of his long sleeves. With shaky fingers, I watch as the stranger reaches out and takes it from my grasp. He flips through a few pages to take in its contents, before finally settling on the book with an affirmative nod. Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. I'm glad. You're like an angel sent down from heaven or something. You're so helpful. Kind too. What? What? Oh, I didn't... Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. That must have been so weird. I'm so sorry. He looked as though he was about to cry now, so I hastily threw my hands in a comforting manner and shot him a reassuring smile. Hey, it's fine. No need to freak out. I wasn't expecting someone to say that about me, is all. Really? Well, I think it's true for what it's worth. You really are like an angel. Thanks? An angel, huh? I seriously doubt that was the reason why my parents named me that in the first place, but... It was crazy how he was able to guess my name so easily. Oh, what did that say? Figuring that it was my cue to leave before things got awkward, I gave him one last friendly smile and subtly glanced back toward the front desk. But the eccentric man showed no signs of moving. Instead, he just looked down at me expectantly. Did he want to continue the conversation? It seemed unlikely as he didn't say anything. He simply stared at me. Awkwardly, I clear my throat for what had been the millionth time today and gesture vaguely to the reception desk behind me. Well, if you don't need any help, I should... Huh. This was getting weird now. Should I even attempt to continue this conversation or just leave? I mean, it would seem rude just to walk away abruptly, especially considering how he's apparently a regular patron in a library I worked at. But he wasn't making much of an effort either, so what should I do? Save? We're gonna keep talking to him. So, do you come here often? Seriously, Angel? That was the best you could come up with? Dang it, now he's probably gonna think I'm the weird one. Yes, actually, I like visiting whenever I have some free time. Although, I usually end up coming here just to hide away in the corner somewhere and look at you. Your book collection. You have a lot of interesting books here. Lots and lots of books. Yeah, I mean, it is a library after all. But sure, whatever you say, mister. Actually, now that I think about it, you haven't told me your name yet. Oh, I guess you're right. You can call me Redacted. What? What? It was like he said something, but his voice was delayed. Was that even his voice? Was he speaking English? It almost felt like something that came out of a dream. Uh, how did you do that? Did do what? Anyway, you can just call me Ren if you like. Ren has to be an alias then. Is it alright if I continue to call you Angel? It's such a unique name, in my personal opinion at least. Wait, did he just guess my real name? Or was he just using Angel as a nickname? And was he really flirting with me right now? Are you okay? Yeah, I think, but how did you know my name? I don't remember telling you. Silly, it's on your name tag. As if to prove a point, Ren reaches out to gently flick the name tag that I somehow forgot that I put on this morning. Oh, Angel is such a cute name though. And it's really, really, really fun to say, especially over and over again. Right. Anyway, say, are you busy later? I'd love to thank you for helping me find this book. Seriously, what is up with this guy? One minute he's shy, and the next he's bald. It's almost like he was putting up several fronts to see which one I responded to better. Actually, I'll be busy this afternoon. I'll need to buy a new lock for my apartment. A new lock? That doesn't sound good. Can I ask why? I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell him. I mean, what was he gonna do? Personally show up to my doorstep and test the new lock himself? Don't test him. Apparently, someone broke into my apartment last night, and I didn't even notice. I don't think they stole anything, but still, it's creepy. I figured it's better to be safe than sorry, you know? Yeah, but it sounds like instead of a lock, you just need to jump the scumbag when they least expect it and beat him up to teach him a lesson. Stay up all night if you have to. Really gets the edge on them. I couldn't help but let out a genuine chuckle at his suggestion. As if I had to choose, then this would have to be the side of him that I preferred. He seemed at ease, and his words weren't as forced or awkward. Yeah, and who's gonna be the one to beat up the guy at 3 a.m.? Because last I checked, I'm not really the type of guy who goes around throwing punches at people I don't know, and definitely not before the sun is up and shining. I could do that for you. You? But, I mean, we don't even know each other that well, and it's fine. I could tell you all about myself on the walk there. My whole life story and everything. Where I was born, the school I went to, how many cute librarians I met. Which happens to be one so far. You're starting to become creepy, Ren. Before I can even comment on his sudden confidence, Ren seems to pick up on my discomfort at his choice of words. If it even was discomfort that I was feeling, and hastily backtracks. Hey, or not, I was just messing around. I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. There it was again, that subtle shift in his personality. But now that he mentioned it, would it really hurt to invite him in my place for the night? He definitely looks like he could handle himself in a fight, his contrasting outfit aside, so maybe it wasn't so bad of an idea. Hmm. Even though he seems creepy, we're just gonna invite him over anyway. Actually, you know what? Would you mind coming over and staying the night? I'd feel a bit safer knowing someone else was around. Uh, oh, you actually want me to come over? I mean, yeah, sure, definitely. He seems a bit too eager for this. If it's not too much trouble, I get... Where are they, Angel? Ah, there you are. Someone at the front desk is looking for you, and... Oh, sorry, are you busy right now? I can... Impeccable timing as always, Eleanor. No, it's fine. I think everything is already handled here, right? I give the two of them a soft smile before making my way towards the reception desk. But as I pass by Eleanor, I gently clasp a hand over her shoulder and shoot her a playful look of my own. If you need more help, I'm sure Eleanor here can assist you. She loves helping others, right? And as I turn to leave, I barely miss the way Ren's eyes zone in on my hand resting on Eleanor's shoulder. Oh, he looks pissed off now. Hours seem to pass by a blur, and soon enough I find myself resting up in the employees' lounge. My mind drifts back to the guy from earlier, and I couldn't help but wonder what happened to him afterwards. Did he rent out the book I offered? What about my recommended novel of the week? Ren was surely strange, to say the least, but I had to admit that he did seem kind of cute with his oversized cardigan and timid demeanor. He still gives me off-putting vibes though, especially with his ever-changing personality. And if I had to be completely honest, that shy and timid persona that he displayed felt rather forced to me. It was almost as if he saw it on TV or something and wanted to try it out for himself. And I just so happened to be one of his first victims. But who was I to call him out for it? That was just his business if he wanted to act shy and demure. Angel, everything alright? It's not often I find you here at this time. Conan, my boss, startles me as he suddenly appears in the entryway. Everyone saw him as some kind of blessing to this institution, because the moment he showed up, all forms of trouble seemed to disappear overnight. Those low-life teens started causing chaos everywhere, and the rumored gangs became few and far between. At first I thought he might have been linked to these criminals because of his intimidating gaze and facial scars, but then I got to know him better and found out that he had held a massive soft spot for those dear to him. Though, much like Eleanor, Conan felt more like a father figure with how much he fretted over his staff and their well-being. I mean, he literally installed a new air conditioner and water dispenser last week because one of his employees fainted due to a heat stroke. It wasn't anything too major, but it was nice to know that our boss was considerate enough about the people he hired. I doubt I could say the same about my old job in the city. Conan was also nice to chat whenever I went on my breaks, and he would always encourage me to take as much time as I needed before I returned to my desk. But before realizing that I had once again been spacing out, I pulled myself away from my thoughts and turned to offer my boss an acknowledging smile. Yeah, I'm fine, just taking a short break. I'll be out there soon. Take as long as you need. Don't overwork yourself. He seems hesitant to leave. If the way he was shifting from one foot to another was any indication, he shoots me a concerned look before opening his mouth, only to close it once more in contemplation. Have you seen Eleanor? I've asked her to come see me regarding the unsorted novels in the storeroom, but she hasn't showed up yet. Eleanor? Last time I saw her, she was talking to one of our patrons in aisle 8. Maybe she's still there? Huh. I'll have to check again then. Thank you. And with that, he disappeared as quietly as he came. But that was odd. It wasn't like Eleanor to suddenly go missing. Was she still occupied with Ren? It'd been a while, so I figured she would have finished helping him and left by now. Oh well, I'm sure she'll turn up sooner or later. Ren didn't seem much like a talkative person anyway. Jeez, why did my thoughts keep returning to that eccentric man? Deciding I wasn't going to waste my time thinking about any more pink-haired guys, my beloved Haruko aside, I get up from the lounge and meander my way back toward the front desk again. But once I arrive, I immediately notice my chatty coworker was still nowhere to be found. It was just like my boss had said. Eleanor wasn't anywhere to be seen, and it wasn't like her to just leave the reception desk unattended for so long. Maybe she managed to knock over a pile of books again and was busy cleaning it up. It certainly wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary for her. Well, whatever. I'm sure she'll turn up again soon. The impact from me plopping down onto my office chair causes some of the papers around me to rustle, and a bright pink sticky note fluttering around captures my attention. Assuming it was left here by Eleanor, I peel the folded note off my computer screen and read it. Angel. Unfolding it, it read the following. I'll wait for you after work, but if you change your mind about our deal, just keep walking. I'll take the hint, don't worry. That stuttering guy from aisle 8. The stuttering guy from aisle 8? I couldn't help but crack a smile at the name Ren chose for himself. And before I could allow Eleanor the chance to manifest behind me and tease me to kingdom come, I pocket the note and go back to sorting through the stack of returned books left on my desk. True to his word, I caught a glimpse of Ren patiently waiting for me in one of the benches as I packed up for the day and leave the library. From afar, he looked like an oversized puppy waiting for his owner to return from work, and adamantly, I found it rather cute, especially with how his figurative tail started to wag upon my arrival. Ren seems all too happy to see me, but before I could call him out on it, he offers me a bottle of water that I assumed he brought from one of the convenience stores down the street. You worked hard today. Now I can finally rest, huh? He's looking down at me again with a glimmer of expectancy in his eyes, so I hesitantly took the bottle of water from his grasp and gave him an affirmative nod of my head. Thanks. No problem. Did you want to head off for now? Or do you want to rest for a bit? I mean, you were standing a lot today. He almost seemed lost in his thoughts now, and I wonder how he knew what I'd been doing all day. After all, I figured he would have left after he found that book, but maybe he stayed a bit longer to read it? Oh no, I'm fine, but do you think we could make a quick detour on the way? I still need to... Angel! Ayo! Ah, I could recognize these voluptuous voices anywhere. The first one belonged to Jae Hyun, a guy I had met at the university. He sat next to me during the first few days of orientation and even offered me to lend me his phone charger when my battery started to run out. He's a fun guy to be around, though His extroverted and energetic personality was often hard to keep up with. But Leon, the other guy awkwardly hanging off of Jay's arm, was a different story. We'd practically known each other since we were babies, but he had moved away from Cortland Bay when we were still in elementary school. I wasn't sure when he moved back to the Bay, but it was great knowing I'd be able to see him again. I just wish I could find the time to hang out with him just like we used to. But I was always busy with work, and he was always busy playing volleyball and taking care of his sick mother in the hospital. Before I knew it, I was being pulled out of my thoughts by Jay's bubbly laughter. Hey, still with us? Hey Angel, finally finished with work? Oh, and who's this? This is Ren. We actually met at work today. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to tell Leon, the human personification of overprotective, that I just met the man today. What would he think if he found out I was bringing home a complete stranger? He usually rents out my recommended books at the library. Anyway, Leon, Jay, this is Ren. Ren, this is Leon and Jay. Unfortunately, these guys are my friends. It's truly unfortunate to know a handsome bloke such as myself. Leon dramatically clutches the spot above his heart and as he leans further into Jay's shoulder. So, you're Ren. Are you new here? I like to think I know everyone here in the Bay, but it seems you've proven me wrong. Yeah. I recently moved here a couple of months ago. Oh, same as Angel. I'm pretty sure they moved back here like, 2 months ago, right? Leon looks at me for confirmation as I meekly nod my head. Strange how I've only been back here for 2 months, and I've yet to find enough time to catch up with all my friends. Oh, what a coincidence. Anyway, talking about moving is boring. Do you want to come over and hang out with us? I barely noticed the way Ren gets shoved to the side by Jay, intentional or not. Nor could I make out the scowl on his face as soon as the excitable man leans a little too close to my personal bubble. We were just about to hang out over to Club Shoreline. Do y'all want to come too? I'm sure Leon wouldn't mind paying for you as well. Oi, I don't mind paying for them, but who said anything about paying for you? I did just now. Thanks, Leon. You're the best. I don't miss the way Leon rolls his eyes at Jay's antics before settling his gaze onto me once more. Do you want to tag along? I really don't mind paying if you do. Sorry guys, I actually already made plans. And do these plans have anything to do with this lanky fellow? My name is Ren. Actually, yeah, I promised I'd hang out with him today. Aw, he can come clubbing with us too. The more the merrier. I'd rather not. Sorry, maybe another time. I'm kinda drained from work anyway, so... Hey, no worries, Drow. Just make sure you take it easy when you get back home, yeah? He shoots me a considerate smile before throwing an arm over Jay's shoulder. Well then, if you'll excuse us, I gotta find a way to get back to this knucklehead to cover his own entry fees. We can all catch up another time, okay? And if you want help with anything, just give me a ring, okay? I'll watch my phone like a hawk tonight. It was nice catching up with you again, Drow. And nice to meet you too, Ron. As they leave, I notice the way Leon looks Ren up and down, almost as he was sizing him up. But Jay, like always, ignores the mood and thumps Leon in the back to encourage him to walk faster. I watch as they both throw a carefree wave over their shoulder as they both head off in the direction of the nightclub a few blocks down the street. So, that wasn't awkward at all. I turned to look at Rin, but his eyes seem to be fixated on two retreating figures. He doesn't seem to snap out of it, so I gently call out his name again. Oh, sorry. Do you wanna head back home now? In the end, we made a quick detour to the local locksmith before heading back to my apartment. So, this is my place. You'll have to excuse the mess. I wasn't expecting to have anyone over. Okay, I'll pause here for now so the video isn't too long.